What's up, YouTube? This is Coding for Noobs once again, and welcome to your 11th Java programming tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're actually going to be creating one of our first full programs. This program, once again, is going to be using our console window, and we're going to be utilizing everything we pretty much learned to create a basic calculator. And to do this, we're actually going to start by creating a brand new project. So I'm just going to click on, I don't know if you saw me click, but this little window thing up here. I'm going to click on Java, and I'm going to call it Java Project, and then we're going to call it Basic Calc. And I'm actually just going to close out of this last source, and I'm going to open up Basic Calc, and under source, we're going to create a new class file, and we're going to call it driver once again. And something I didn't show you guys before is we can actually do public static void main here. If we check this, it's actually going to create our entry point for us. So I'm just going to comment this in like I did before. Main entry point of application, basically where the program starts from. And alright, so to get started, we're going to be using some user input, of course, because we are doing a calculator application. So we're going to need to read like different numbers from the user. And to do this, we're going to be using our scanner class, like always. So we're going to do import java.util.star, and there we go. And then up here, we're going to have our variable declaration, and we're going to call this scanner input equals new scanner system.in. Alright, so for those of you who are either new to my tutorial series or just forgot what the scanner is, it's pretty much a built-in object in Java that allows us to read different data types from the console window. So it automatically converts stuff to the specified data type that we need. So if we need an integer, it'll read an integer for us. If we need a double, it'll read a double for us. If we need a boolean or a string or whatever it is, it'll read it for us. So when we create this, we do new scanner, and then inside these parentheses, we put system.in, and what that basically means is we're going to be reading from this window down here, which is our console window. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create two different variables. So we're going to have int num1 and int num2. And I'm declaring them both on the same line. I haven't showed you guys how to do this yet, but I'm going to do it right now. So basically, if you're declaring two variables of the same data type, so we're declaring two integers, we can actually do it on the same line. We just need a comma, and we still end with a semicolon. So basically, we're declaring number 1 or num1 as an integer, and we're assigning it the value of 0, and we're also declaring num2 as an integer and assigning it the value of 0. So now we have two values here. And actually, sorry, I forgot, we also need one last one, and basically we're going to call this option equals 0. Now, before in the past, we've either like stuck in like an infinite while loop or something, or or like a counted loop, to say how many times to do something. Now we're going to learn how to do something more along the lines of checking for user input of when to exit the application. So basically, we're just going to say this, and we're going to comment this, and we're going to say enter the calculator. And then we're going to have end of calculator, and basically all the code that goes between these two comments is going to be our calculator code, and then we're going to have our EOP, end of program. And at our end of program, just quickly, we're going to do system.out.println thank you for using our simple calculator application. Done. Alright, so, oh, sorry, I forgot the semicolon. There we go. Just need to monitor the time that I have left. I'm actually going to do this just so I can see how long this video is going for. Alright, 4 minutes. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is, now that we have our variables that we need and we have our end of program, we can actually start developing the core of our program. And pretty much in this core of our program, there's a few different aspects we're going to incorporate. And one is going to be a simple menu with options for the user to choose. And to do our menu, we're going to slap inside of a nice nicely structured while loop. So our while loop is going to be while option is not equal to -999. So right now, option is equal to 0. So we're automatically going to enter this while loop, and we're going to do this block of code. But pretty much what we're going to be doing now is prompting the user for what they want to do next. And what they want to do next is going to be stored in option, and there's going to be a set of different options identified by a number. And if they enter 999, then we're going to close the program. But we're going to want to tell the user what these options are. So the first thing we're going to do now is system.out.println, and then we're going to have a couple different options. And to start, we'll just do our first one, exit. So personally, I like putting these little square brackets around to make it look like a key kind of. And then, so we're going to say 999 to exit the calculator. And then, so this is going to be the bottom of our little menu here. And then we're going to have different other options, and basically these options are going to be like adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. So we're going to do system.out.println 1 to add, system.out.println 2 to subtract, system.out.println 3 to multiply, and system.out.println 4 to divide. Perfect. Now, this is pretty much prompting the user for which part of the application to run. So now, if you remember, I think it was our last tutorial, we were introduced to this new statement called the if statement. And pretty much we did, if a condition is true, then we're going to execute a block of code. Otherwise, if another condition is true, we can execute that block of code. And it's pretty much going to be the same thing with this loop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set option equal to input.next. int. So what this is going to do is we're going to choose what we're doing next. So we're going to grab the user's option. And before we go to our next part of our program, we're actually going to implement something called, it's almost like a safety kind of thing, like you'll understand a little bit later when we get to the end of the code, but we're basically going to say if option is equal to -999, then we're going to do something called break. And what a break is going to do is it's going to exit our while loop. So I didn't show you guys this before, but pretty much anytime you put break, it's just going to exit out of the loop. And basically we're saying, so if the user chose to exit, then we're not going to do anything else for the calculator. We're just going to go ahead and exit this loop and go to the end of the program. The next thing we're going to do is the rest of our options. So I'm just going to comment this here. Is it time to exit? Then exit the loop. And then we have an else if option equals 1. And according to our menu, 1 is equal to add. So we're going to add some, actually no, sorry, I forgot. This is actually going to be another if statement down here. And what we're actually going to do here is prompt for num1 and num2. Sorry, I actually lost my code for this tutorial. Typically I'll type out little notes on how I want to do this, and I've misplaced it, so I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head. Anyway, so what we're going to do is system.out.println, or print, please enter number 1. And then we're going to do num1 equals input.next int. So we grab our first integer, and then we do system.out.print please enter number 2. Num2 is equal to input.next int. And that's done. Oops. Okay. So sorry about that, I clearly forgot about this part, but pretty much we just prompt to grab the numbers that we're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. And actually, I'm kind of running out of time right now, So really quickly, I'm just going to end this video, and in our next video, we're going to get to here, this part of the code where we actually decide what to do with the numbers, and print the result to the console window. So basically we're going to say, is it time to add? Then we add the numbers and output it. Is it time to subtract? Then we subtract, multiply, divide, etc. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm actually going to post this code via Pastebin in the YouTube description. And if you guys have any questions or you have any problems with the code, let me know, and I'll try to help you out the best I can. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial.